As an East Bristol resident myself, who lives just outside the LN, I only found out about the scheme after the consultation process had closed. Myself and a few other people started to look into the scheme in detail, and we were horrified by what we saw. In fact, the more we looked at it, the more things we could see that were wrong. The biggest issue for me is that emergency vehicles also use roads. Any traffic management scheme which places physical obstructions in the path of emergency vehicles can only be viewed as dangerous. We hear from supporters of these schemes that they don't slow down emergency vehicles, but I think anyone with a bit of common sense knows that this cannot be true. Hence, starting the Keep Bristol Moving campaign to raise awareness and canvass residents and businesses to find out what they actually think about the scheme. I used to work in Barton Hill and have a lot of affection for the area and its residents. When visiting my favourite chip shop, Hamlin's, a few weeks ago, I was baffled to find the owner knew nothing about the scheme. I can understand he may have missed a letter from the council, but how can the subject of the livable neighbourhood not have come up in conversation in the shop since the project was announced? This suggests that residents and people using the area were not aware either. The consultation process lasted approximately 6 weeks, and it was an online exercise. I believe there were a little over 2,000 responses, which in my opinion is nowhere near enough for a scheme which will not just impact the people who live within the area, but thousands of other Bristol residents and visitors, particularly as the council potentially plans to roll out livable neighbourhoods citywide. Although it's difficult to find details on the overall plan and timing, surely this is something that all residents should be consulted on. I will suggest that the online consultation process was completely unfit for purpose and effectively only consulted the laptop class, which is hardly representative of the area in question. The laptop class may well be able to work from home, may well be able to manage without a car, may well be able to afford rail travel between cities. The working class cannot. There are a large number of elderly residents within the livable neighbourhood who won't be engaging online, and many other residents who speak English as an additional language. The information documents were printed in English only. At the drop-in information sessions, the council team point to their maps and say, access is maintained to all addresses. Now, while this is true, the maps don't show the volume of traffic. So the question is, how much longer will it take people to access the places they need to get to? When I asked about a photo of a padlock bollard and how it would impact ambulances at a drop-in session, I was told, don't worry, they'll have keys. At the walkabout session I went to, if somebody asked an awkward question, they were quietly taken away from the group and an answer was given. The whole process seemed highly choreographed. When looking at the consultation comments, they all seemed aligned, with almost all stating how terrible the air quality was, how bad the traffic is, and how dangerous the driving is. This contrasts drastically with comments made under local press articles regarding the scheme, where over 90% were vehemently opposed to it. How can there be such polar opposite views in two separate public channels? I've also noticed some strange things going on with the consultation website. The comments feature has been turned off and the feedback results have disappeared. Last time I could view the feedback results, there were far, far more people objecting to the scheme than there were those in favour. Why has this functionality been hidden or removed? It feels like the residents have been tricked by the council, having been asked what improvements they would like to see in the area, only to have unannounced road closures forced upon them. Everything about this scheme and the consultation has a very strong smell of stealth about it, and I don't think it could be any less transparent.